Hello students. Today we are going to discuss on an interesting topic called poetic devices. This poetic device is also called as figure of speech. You may get questions under poem appreciations asking you to find out the poetic devices or the figure of speech that's been used in the given poetic lines. For that, you need to know what is poetic device. So children, in this video, let's learn in detail about poetic devices. Children, what pictures do you find here in this slide? Yes, you can see two crowns. How do they look? Do they look the same? No. The first crown looks very simple and plain, whereas the second crown looks so beautiful and colorful with stones like diamond and emerald embedded in it. So obviously, we get attracted to the second crown which looks so grand. Likewise, the poet uses the poetic devices to beautify his poems. So, children, poetic device is nothing but the tool or the technique that's been used by the poet in his poems to express his ideas, to register his ideas, emotions, and feelings strongly to the readers. In English, there are many poetic devices. In this video, we are going to see 9 commonly used poetic devices. Here are the tools of the poetic device. First one is simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration, repetition, oxymoron, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, and rhyme scheme. So let us see one by one in detail. First one is simile. Simile is a comparison of two unlike things. Simile is a comparison of two unlike things or two different things that have one thing in common. So, comparison is done directly with words such as like or as. Comparison is done directly using the words such as like or as. So, let us understand simile with some examples. Our soldiers are as brave as a lion. Our soldiers are as brave as a lion. In this line, as brave as a lion is a simile. Why? Because here the soldiers are compared to a lion. So, what is the common thing for both of them? Is their bravery. Let's look into another example. She looks like an angel. In this line, like an angel is a simile. Why? Because the girl is compared to an angel. The common thing for both of them is their beauty. So, in both these examples, comparisons are done directly using the words such as and like. Next one is metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech that compares two different things, that compares two unlike things that have one thing in common. You might be wondering that metaphor means the same as simile, but there is a difference. In simile, to compare things, we use words such as like or as. But in metaphor, the comparison is done without using like or as. So let's understand metaphor with some examples. She is a lioness. Here, she, that is the woman, is compared to a lioness. So, what is a common thing for both of them is that their bravery and intelligence. So, here the comparison between the women and the lioness is done without using the comparison words like or as. Look into one more example. The camel is a ship of the desert. Here, the camel is compared to a ship without using the comparison words like or as. What is the common thing for both of them is that they carry people. You know, camel carries people in the desert, whereas ship carries people in the sea. So children, metaphor does a hidden comparison, whereas simile does an open comparison of two unlike things. Now, let us see what is personification. The name itself has the word person. So, personification is a figure of speech where the attributes of human, the characteristics or the qualities of human are given to inanimate objects or ideas. The qualities may be emotions, desires, sensations, and gestures. Now let's look into some example to understand personification. My alarm clock yells at me to get out of bed every morning. Here the word yells means to shout. Do the alarm clock shout? No. Here, shouting is an attribute of human that's been given to the object alarm clock. So, in this sentence, alarm clock is being personified. Let's look into another example. The sun smiled at us. Here, we have given the attribute of human smiling to the object sun. So, in this sentence, sun has been personified. One more example. Opportunity knocks the door once. Here, knocking is an action done by human. We have given the human quality of knocking to the abstract noun opportunity. So, the word opportunity is an idea is being personified here. So, children, in these examples, we see that the human qualities are being given to objects such as alarm clock and sun and to the idea opportunity. Alliteration. Alliteration is a repetition of a consonant sound or letter at the beginning of multiple words in a line. Look at these two examples, children. She sells seashells at the seashore. In this line, you can see the words she, sells, seashells, sea, and shore. I've started with the same consonant sound and I've started with the same letter S. Next example, the summer of life she is ready to see in spring. In this line, you can witness the words summer, she, sea, and spring has the same consonant sound and have started with the same letter S. So, in these two lines, the poetic device alliteration is used. Now, let's see what is repetition. Repetition is a figure of speech wherein a word or a group of words is repeated in a line. So, why the poet is repeating the words in his poetic lines, children? Why? Because to create rhythm and to bring the attention of the idea or the feelings to the readers. Now, look at the example given in the slide. If you think you can do it, you can do it. In this line, the group of words you can do it is repeated twice to bring the attention of the importance of determination or the confidence in you to attain success. Understood, children? Now look at the second example given. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Here the line itself is repeated. So, what is the meaning is trying to tell? And miles to go before I sleep. Here, the poet has repeated the line one more time to show the importance of duties and responsibilities to be accomplished by us before the death. Okay, now let's see what is oxymoron. Oxymoron is a figure of speech containing words that seem to contradict each other in the same line. Here, the word contradict means opposite in their meaning. That is, one word says one thing and the other word says the other thing. Look at the examples given here, children. It is an open secret. Notice those words open and secret are the words that contradict each other, that are opposite in their meaning. If it is a secret, it cannot be open. And if it is open, it cannot be a secret. So in this line, you can notice two words that contradict each other. Likewise, look at the next example. He is clearly confused in his decisions. Here, you can notice two opposite words, clear and confused, is used in the same line. Again, one more example. All the politicians agreed to disagree. Here again, two words that are opposite in their meaning are used in the same line. So, children, if you find a line containing words that contradict each other, then it is clear the poetic device oxymoron is used. Coming to onomatopoeia, onomatopoeia is defined as a word which imitates the natural sounds of the things or animals. Children, you know the sounds of various objects. For example, if you find water leaking from the tap, it makes a dripping sound. Drip is a sound of water. When you drop a coin down, it gives a clinking sound. Clink is a sound of coin. So now let's look at the example given here. The slamming of the door has awakened his mother. Here, slamming of the door means closing or shutting the door forcefully. So according to this sentence, the closing sound of the door has awakened his mother. Now let's look into the next two examples. The buzzing bee flew away. The snake slithered and hissed. How do the bee sounds? It buzz. How do the snake sounds? It hiss. So here in these two lines, we have used the natural sound of the animals. Coming to the last example, there was a rustling noise in the bushes. Here the word rustle means the sound of the dried leaves or paper when they are disturbed by the wind. So did you understand, children? So in all these examples, we have used the natural sounds of the things and animals. Now let's see hyperbole. Hyperbole is a quite interesting poetic device that we use in our everyday speech, but we are not aware of it. So let me explain you. Hyperbole is a figure of speech wherein we exaggerate or overstate any statement. Here, the word exaggerate means to make something seem larger and worse than it really is. People usually exaggerate things because they have strong feelings about some things. Likewise, the poet exaggerates in his poems to grasp the attention of the readers, to make people listen to what he says. It is not used to mislead the reader but to emphasize a point clearly and forcibly. Now, let's look into some examples of hyperbole in our everyday speech. Look at the first example, children. The briefcase weighs a ton. If you find something heavy to carry, you say that it weighs a ton. Next example, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Is that you are ready to eat horse? No, it shows the degree of hunger, how hungry you are. Next example, if I go home late, my dad will kill me. Is that your dad kills you if you go home late? No, it shows that dad wants you to come home early. Next example, I tried 1,000 times. It means that numerous attempts that you have taken to do something. Next example is running faster than the wind. Here it shows the degree of speed, how fast he runs. So children, so all these five examples are overstated. Now coming to the last poetic device, a rhyme scheme. A rhyme scheme is the pattern of rhyming words at the end of each line of a poem. A rhyme scheme can change line by line or stanza by stanza. So now let us look into the example given here. Look at the stanza, children. And it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. The rhyming scheme of the given stanza is A A B B. How this rhyme pattern is derived? Let's see. Look at the first line, last word children. It is night. You mark the word night as A. Coming to the second line, last word, bright. Does the word bright rhymes with night? Yes. So bright sounds the same as night. So you can take the bright as the same letter A. Now coming to the next line, last word is shine. Now check, does shine rhymes with bright and night? No, it doesn't sound the same. So you have to mark the word shine as B. Now coming to the last line, last word is mine. Now check the word mine. Does it rhymes with shine or bright and night? It rhymes with shine. So you have to take the word mine as B. So now we have derived the rhyming scheme for this given stanza. It is A, Okay children, so this is how you have to write the rhyming pattern or the rhyming scheme of the poem. So students, I hope you have understood all these 9 commonly used poetic devices. Once again, I repeat, poetic device is like an ornament where women wear it to beautify herself. Likewise, the poem is beautified using these poetic devices. In this video, I have shared simple examples to make you to understand the different kinds of poetic devices. So now you select a poem and try finding out the poetic devices used in it. Really, you will find it interesting, children. So try it out and tell me. Thank you.